What is going on, guys? Let's go ahead and do a rundown of gun empty bunch. Now, empty bunch is a formation a lot of you guys know that I absolutely love. Last year it was more focused around the QB draw, whereas this year it's mainly used to combat people that are sending heavy blitzes. People that like to run dollar or stuff like that, they really can't run it against empty bunch just due to the quick dots that we have, as well as the fact that the QB draw, once again, even though it's not nearly as dominant as it was, you can still run the QB draw against formations like dollar really easily. So just to show that really quick, let's see, I don't even think I have dollar. We'll use 146 as kind of an example. So you'll see something that people will do is they're going to set up like a little contained blitz right at a dollar. And this actually does probably a better job than dollar in terms of stopping it. But just you'll see that you typically are able to just go right up the middle against it because it's impossible really to shoot the gap. You have to basically send a gap type blitz like a crossfire, and then you have to try to shoot the B gap. Well, if you're doing that, then you're just going to get absolutely killed by the quick passes. So the QB draw, although not anything that I use a ton anymore, I probably will run this maybe twice, 3 times a game, and that's in MUT with Vic. You're talking about if I'm in regs with like Bortles, I'm not going to run this but maybe once, twice a game. But it is something to make your opponent have to think about. Just because you can't sit in dollar, you'll pick up 5-6 yards basically every time you run it against dollar. So to the actual passing plays. The main plays that I like is going to be Z-spot, which I'll show you here in a second. So you see you got Z-spot. I like to play curl flats. I like Y curl and 4 verticals. Those are the 4 plays that I really run. So we'll come out Z-spot first, and we'll just come out and random 3-4. So the setup that I use for this is pretty much almost always the same. I like to fade this outside right receiver, and then the thing that I do on the left-hand side to this Y receiver is I'm either going to in-route him, I'm going to put him on a drag, or I'm going to put him on a hitch. So those are the 3 things that I do with him. Either in, drag, or hitch, just depending on what I think my opponent's doing. So we'll put him on the in-route. That's typically my stock setup. And you're basically reading this right-hand side of the field, right? So you're basically going to come out. You see it's man coverage right there. You throw the flats. That flat route is going to be open against 99% of defenses, just because nobody really likes to play hard flats. If they do play hard flats, then the chance of them actually defending anything else on the field is basically slim to none, right? So main thing I'm looking for is that you got the corner route if they manually play the flat. And then if, for whatever reason, they're playing both of them really well, you'll see right here, zones don't stick to that corner route. So whether that's a cloud flat or hard flat, if it's basically not a curl flat, you'll be able to throw that once he hits the sideline. So you see this corner route, it is one of these short corner routes, which means it will torch man coverage, as you were seeing. And pretty much it has to be manually guarded. You see this flat route is, once again, very dominant because a lot of the times the alignment, they'll have the guy manned up on him to the left of the screen. So see if we audible to man coverage, he's right there this time. But you'll see he still doesn't get out there right away. And then you also have the speed in on the backside in route. So it works just like it did last year in terms of that. Other thing to note, if it is a cover 3, right? So if it's a cover 3, say they protect the sticks. Most people that are playing cover 3 will. You have this bomb out here. If you have the time to throw it, you have a speedy receiver. I don't know who Smith is. But that will be a nice little bomb, especially if your opponent's not used to facing it. I don't really look to hit that. Most of the time I'm looking to the flat, I'm looking to the post. I'm looking to the corner route and then the in and the deep in on the left. So my main reads on this play, I'm looking at the flat, I'm looking at the A receiver, I'm looking at the Y receiver, then I'm looking at the X receiver. So that's pretty much how I'm reading this. You see, once again, just dinking it down to the flats. It's basically, we're forcing our opponent to play hard flats, right? And then once they do play hard flats, then they're not going to be able to play basically anything else. So you got the corner out, you got the deep in, you got basically everything open against hard flats. Now the thing that you got to note, so if somebody's lined up right on top of, it's like in this cover two, right? So you see how this linebacker's not manned up, but he's right over top of the corner, or excuse me, he's right over top of the receiver. If I put him on an in route, he's going to get pressed. So if you see something like that, you want to put him on a drag, because now he's not going to get pressed. So now we can step up, we can make our read that way. So once again, he might get pressed here, he might not. I don't think he will. So we'll go ahead and put him on in route. He did. He got pressed anyway. But you see how it just throws off the timing a little bit. If they have people lined up over him, it's best to just put him on a drag. If there's nobody over him, say they are base aligned, something like that, you can drag. Or if they're base aligned, you put them on an in. Now, the times that I'll put them on a hitch is if my opponent is really aggressive with their user over the middle of the field. So if my opponent's, biting down dumb hard, so they're going to do something like this. You're going to play a Tampa 2, they'll man up Jackson, they'll do something like this, and then they're going to just bite anything over the middle of the field. If they are doing something like that, I'll typically put them on a hitch, just because I don't want him to run into them. So you'll see people doing adjustments like this, right? So that where they're blitzing from the left, and then they're going to manually sprint over to this left-hand side. And typically, a drag or an in route, they'll be able to play it right here in this area of the field, right? Because they're basically running into each other. But if it's on a hitch, you'll see that if they're going to try to bait you into that throw, they're not going to have any time to really get over there. The hitch is so quick that it really makes it difficult to jump that manually. So that's Z-spot. Now we'll get into verticals. So verticals, my setup is I like to drag the RB running back, and then I like to drag Y. Now at this point, I'm looking to hit one of the two drags or the deep crossing route. We'll go ahead, get on a defensive lineman. So you'll see that crossing route will beat zone. It doesn't matter if it's a cloud flat or hard flat. It will beat zone coverage right there once it crosses the field. You have the two drags if they are, blitzing heavy. If for whatever reason they're sending a blitz, let's see, what are we in here? Cover 3. So say they're doing a blitz where they're trying to get this guy free, right? So they'd be doing something like this. So if they were going to do something like this, you'd be able to actually throw this little wheel route right away. Now, that was probably the worst animation you could actually get on it. Just something to pay attention to. A lot of people don't like to blitz this formation, but some people are simply just stubborn. Like if they're going to run the 3-3-5 odd crossfire, they're going to run the blitz. They're going to blitz the corner. If they're running dollar, the crossfire, they're going to blitz the corners. And when they do, that's when you can really take advantage of, that wheel route. The majority of the time, though, I'm basically using it as a lead blocker for the drag route. So you're basically looking at the two drags and the deep cross. I got screamed at. All Madden practice mode is crazy, but so that was man coverage. You see, drag by the running back is going to get wide open. It's just one of those things where it's basically impossible to blitz. That's the thing that I like about it. If your opponent does try to blitz you, you just have too many things open, especially right over the middle of the field. So your opponent's user has to be on point, otherwise it's a big gain. So that's, like I said, that's what I do with this formation. That's how I prefer to use it. There you see the crossing route against man coverage. Crossing route again. It's a really nice little crossing route to fit in there. Something I definitely use a lot. I go to this setup quite a bit. There you see you got the wheel route. I don't know exactly what they were in, but he pressed my tight end. So once you press my tight end, it left the wheel route open. There's some sort of heavy blitz from the left. You see you got the drag. I could run this probably 100 times and you'll see me hit either the drags or the crossing route. The rare occasion I'll hit the wheel. You see once again, boom, deep cross. It's a very very effective play. I don't really know the best way to put it. It doesn't look like it's a sexy play. There you see the wheel route. You know, you put a guy like a Tyreek Hill or somebody with a good juke or spin move, that can actually be a really quick dot that turns into a touchdown. Here you go once again, wheel. The Smith guy, he's not cutting it. But you see what I'm talking about. It's extremely good, extremely easy play to run. There you see some sort of man coverage or a cover 3 match. So that's it, right? I'm not going to run this anymore. You guys can make those reads. Now, Y curl. Y curl is a play that I like to use a lot against. Here's the setup first off. I fade the outside right receiver. I in-route the running back, and then I whip the Y route. Now, this setup looks absolutely crazy, right? But I do this for one reason, and the thing that I really like about it is you're actually able to bomb cover 3 if you have a fast receiver on the fade. So I'm going to go ahead and put a fast guy there. I don't know who Smith is, but... So we're going to put Samuel there. Here we go. So Y curl. I mainly use this against cover 2. So you'll see me use this against people that send blitzes, right? So here's a popular blitz in the game right here. They'll do something like this, where they're sending the dual contains. Now, you can block that running back. You don't have to put him on an in route. I like sending 5 out. But the main thing that you're going to be looking at, so there's the in route right away. Most of the time, people will manually play that, though, right? Especially because we run 4 verticals a lot. So you can block him, and then you're looking at this setup right here. Fade, a wheel, an inverted wheel, and then a zig. So we're going to go ahead and set it up again. Now, you're ideally looking to hit this route as it cuts up the middle of the field. Now, you really want that on the long side of the field as well. So when I run this, I would probably run it like this to this left-hand side. And the zig, what it's going to do is it's going to eliminate the man coverage. So you see how quick that dot becomes? Whereas if I don't have that zig on the field, if I just have this wheel route, see how it kind of like matches him? Like it just, I don't know, it seems to take a lot longer to get open. Whereas if I put the zig, it's basically open right away. See, boom, zig, and then it's there, you know. That's the route you're looking to hit. Now you want to run this mainly against cover 2. If your opponent's in a cover 3, like I said, you can do the zig, or you can look to bomb this. I matched up right there. Yeah, if it's a cover 3 match, it's pretty much bagged. But if they protect the sticks, then you have a shot at actually bombing it. So you could just throw it right over the top. And that's what Funch is. He's not the fastest, but it's a good cover 3 bomb. It's kind of counterproductive to the cover 2 way, which is to zig the wide side, because you also need to fade the outside guy, right? Where it comes into play, though, is really against cover 2. Like, our opponent will not be able to run cover 2, especially because they're probably, especially after we hit them with it the first time, they're going to be making an adjustment like this. So they'll be doing something along this line right here, and then they'll be sitting in the middle of the field. So you can throw this wheel route. You can either high point it like I just did right there, or you can low ball it. I really like to low ball that, especially against heavy blitzes. So once again, we'll make adjustments similar to that, where the user's pretty much always going to be in the middle of the field because of plays like verticals, because of Z-spot. You know, we're basically attacking this middle of the field with all of our plays. So when we do decide to hit with this wheel route, as you'll see right here, I got screamed at, but the wheel route will actually get open, and it's a nice little dot that your opponent's not going to expect. So we'll go ahead, set it up again. All right. You see, as soon as he cuts up, you can lowball that, and that's just a very nice little dot that attacks kind of the sidelines, but also the middle of the field, if that makes any sense. Basically, no cloud flat, hard flat, no cover 2 zone is going to be able to actually stop this. So if they don't have the vert hook right there, then it's an easy dot. If they do have the vert hook, then they're basically going to be picking and choosing which one of these they're giving up. Either the zig to the right, which you see is open, or the invert. So that's all of them, I believe. Let's see. Last thing I'll talk about. Go ahead, back to the formation. Curl flats. So curl flats is a really, really good play. Once again, it's going to attack basically everything. Cover 3, cover 4. We'll just go to, what are we running? Here's some sort of cover 3. The setup, you want to fade the outside guy, and that's it. So it's similar to Z-spot, but it's going to be attacking at a deeper level with the corner out. And then you also have the flat curl combo over here on the right. So you'll see right here, you low ball that, just wide open, even though it matched. So we're going to go ahead and do it again. Low ball that. Like, it's just that little combination right there is amazing. Now, once you start adding in the fact that they're going to have to, worry about this deep corner route, that corner route's going to get open against everything. There's no zone in the game that this route doesn't get open against. You see right here, just wide open. One more time. Let's see that there's a press right there. You just dump it down to the flats. I mean, it's a very easy formation to pass out of. Now, I don't know if this is because I'm used to it or what the case may actually be, but I really love this formation. It's a formation that I know I can go to in situations where I kind of need a bailout. But good pass, Cam. But yeah, you can see, like, it's crazy easy. I mean, your reads are always there. It's always on point. You know what's going to happen. So, yeah. That's basically the formation, guys. I think I got one more thing that I can actually break down with this, but something you don't really need to do. You don't need to run it a lot, but there's 2 other plays actually that if you like this formation, you can go to, and that is Z-spot and go and divide wheel. So Z-spot and go, I like to do this against you know, people sitting in cover 3, cover 4. But basically I'm zigging one side, and then I'm going to motion over a fade. So now I'm basically creating just another zone beater. You see it takes a little while. It takes a long time really to get open. But if you have time, you could do something like this. You'll see that the corner route is going to get open. It is one of the wide corner routes, the really long corner routes. So they get open if you have enough time to actually throw it. So something that you can mix in just because your opponent's not going to really be expecting it. I mean, you can see, I mean, the corner route's getting open basically every time. Go ahead. Now I am blocking the running back to try to get a little bit more protection. No, not that time. But curl flats, cloud flats, soft squats, nothing is going to defend that long side corner route. So if it's a 4th down situation, you can go to that. I mean, you can see it's a long developing route, but it's nice because the curl flat play, you know, is going towards the tight end side, whereas this one is going to this left hand side, you know, the opposite. So it really forces our opponent to, you know, respect both of them. And then if they don't, you know, you've got the dot. I mean, it's there. You just got to get the time to make the throw. Then last one will be divide wheel. So divide wheel. I like this play mainly just because I like to hit this running back on this wheel route. You'll see right here, you got the flat, you got the wheel. So basically, you're looking to see whether or not they're going to play hard flats or cloud flats. If they play hard flats, so you'll see something like this, right? So they'll play hard flats. Once they do this, you can throw this running back route. Once again, it's one of those sneaky little routes that I don't throw a lot. I do mix it in, you know, from time to time, because you have other reads, right? You have the deep cross, you have the drag, you have the other wheel route. But you'll see, like, even against man coverage right there, I mean, if McCaffrey didn't get that stupid animation, that's a touchdown. Man coverage again, that's a dot. It's a nice little route to mix in, just because it really screws with the user defender. I mean, you see right there, that was some sort of a cover 3 with hard flats. It left it just wide open. See, once again, boom, throw right in front of the safety, easy dot. It's a nice little play, just because you do have that route. So look at this, wide open. That's a match principle, right? So that's one of the main things that I like about it. So cover 3, just go to the instant replay, right? So here's cover 3 with a match. So you see that initially you have the flat. It looks like he's playing the wheel route, but he's not. He's actually playing that deep cross. You'll see he just runs away from the running back and leaves this wide open for a touchdown. And that's because, you know, it's one of those cover 3s. If you don't base align, or excuse me, if you don't protect the sticks, you'll give up plays like this all day long. And there's a lot of people out there that simply don't know that they need to do this, right? So boom, easy dot. It's nice because of the fact that you have other routes on this play, right? So you can hit the deep crossing route to the tight end. You can hit the drag route underneath. You could hit the flat pass. You can hit the flat pass to Samuel. You can hit the wheel route. You really have so many different options. I mean, here you see the wheel route once again just burning the man coverage, a fast running back almost always will be manned up on a linebacker, especially if it's, unless they're in dollar or something like that. But you see, once again, boom, throw right over top, easy dot. It's just the main reason I don't use this play as one of my main 4 passing plays is the fact that I always want to hit that running back, and I personally don't make the reads the way that I should. But if you get used to it, you pretty much have all the reads that you need. With the drag coming underneath, you have the deep crossing route, the running back, obviously. So yeah, just something for you guys to think about. As you'll see, if you get the reads down, this play is definitely one of the best in the formation. It's just up to you to get the reads down. See, you get the wheel route to the left. Fast guy there, boom, easy touchdown. Man coverage, can't do that. I mean, you have everything you need. I mean, throw the flats, pick up. I just threw the flats on the short side of the field and got almost 10 yards. So yeah, just see, here's another cover 3. You got hit with the match principle, boom, touchdown. Basically, like I said, guys, you have everything you need out of this formation. The only thing that you might struggle with is going to be picking up pressure. So let's talk about that really quick. Picking up pressure out of this, let's go over to, so you'll see something like this, right? So here's one of the main things people run. These are the contain type blitzes. They'll sit here. They'll basically lurk just to confuse it. So what I do when I'm hell-bent on picking up pressure, I will block the running back, and then I ID the opposite corner. Now, I know this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to people. I say ID the coach, and this is what I'm talking about, because you're going to ID the guy furthest away from the running back. Now, when you do that, more times than not, you'll be able to pick up the pressure. Now, right there, wasn't able to. We'll go ahead and do it again. So, got the running back blocked. Set it up again. You see, we are able to pick up the pressure, and then, it's just up to make the right read. Now, this play isn't the best to do that, right? Now, like I said, I don't really like to block in this formation. That's why I use Z-spot verticals, are probably my 2 main plays. Just because if they're going to send crazy pressure, I'm going to basically test their user. So, go ahead and do the same setup. Now, with their user, they're going to have to, defend everything. You got a high-low read right over the middle of the field that you're not able to ball hawk. And then if you don't take the drags, I'll throw a drag route every play. If, for whatever reason, they want to run, if they're hell-bent on sitting in the cover 3, or excuse me, a cover 2. So say they're doing something like this. This is where you can hit them quickly with one of these wheel routes. Boom, right up the middle, pick up 10, 15 yards. So, not the formation I use when I'm trying to block people. Now, you can block the running back, as I mentioned. You can also motion over either the tight end, and he'll be blocking, so you can do something like this. That'll pick up all blitzes. Or, you can motion this guy in. So you could do this. That's basically the way that I would pick up pressure if I was hell-bent on doing it. I prefer to send the 5 routes out and force my opponent to guard the whole middle of the field out of this formation. So once you get used to it, I'm sure you'll probably come to the same agreement. I mean, you see, it's just no matter what your opponent's in, you have the dots to beat it. It's just whether or not you can get the read down, not get baited, because the way people will try to defend this formation is they're going to blitz heavy. And then they're going to try to jump your first read. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoy it.